Hi, it's Alicia. Welcome to episode 3 and the last episode of my men's dress shirt recreation series. So in my last episodes, I transformed men's shirts into a straight neckline and tie waistband blouse and a ruffled skirt. So in today's transformation, I will be making a ruffled blouse, which is inspired by the brand OhHeyGirl. So I found it very unique and loved the ruffled details, so I decided to make it myself. And let's get started. For this project, I will be using this thrifted white men's shirt. Start by disassembling it. Seam rip the collar off to be able to insert some ruffles later. Remove all of the buttons on the sleeves and seam rip the edge of the cuff, in which ruffles will be added later. Remove the pocket. Shorten the shirt to your desired length and make sure to have enough fabric to make the ruffles. Draw a line just before the button and buttonhole and shorten the collar at 3/4 of an inch. I realized if I left it at its original length, the ruffles would be too high. Connect the marking 2 inches below the collar to make 2 tiny triangles. Cut 1/4 of an inch before the marking and cut the extra fabric off. To hem it, fold both of the edges inside and also seam rip the collar off about an inch to hem it all the way up. Pin it down and sew it, and all the edges are hidden. Iron the collar in about 1/4 of an inch. Using the remaining of the collar, cut a 1-inch strip, and since there's 2 layers, it will give you 2 long rectangles. And this will be used for the bow at the neck. Fold in the edges twice to hide the raw edges and do it all the way to the end. Sew it down close to the opening, and now you have 2 little ties. Place the edge to the right side of the collar and turn it so that the tie is sandwiched between both sides. Sew where the marking is. When you flip it back, the tie is secured between the 2 layers. Tuck in the remaining fabric and sew the opening closed. And the neckline is done. The next step is to make the bodice smaller. Neatly cut off the sleeves right before the seam. Place a shirt you like the fit of and trace it. Make sure the armholes are smaller than the original ones so that the sleeves will also ruffle. While cutting, I'm curving the sides to make it more form-fitting. Make darts to add more shape to it. Mine were 1.5 inches below the armhole, 5.5 inches long, 1 inch high, and the tip starts at the second button. Flip the shirt inside out. Pinch the dart and pin it at the line. When you reach the end, don't backstitch. Leave enough thread to be able to make 2 knots. And here are the completed darts. With the shirt right sides together, sew the side seams. When you get to the darts, make sure they are pointing down. To ruffle the sleeves, sew a basting stitch, which is a long straight stitch. Pull on one of the threads to gather the fabric. Make enough ruffles to fit the new armhole. Flip the shirt inside out and insert the sleeves so that the right sides are touching. Add as many pins as possible to secure the ruffles and sew it. You can sew over the pins if they are pinned vertically. This also helps to keep the ruffles in place. Hem the bottom by folding the edges twice. For the ruffles, you will need many strips of fabric. The collar ruffle is 2.5 inches by 26 inches. The sleeve ruffles are 2 inches by 22 inches. The second sleeve ruffles are 3 inches by 15 inches. And the sleeve ties are 1 inch by 22 inches. For all the ones that need to be ruffled, sew the 2 short sides and 1 of the long side. Do this with a rolled hem, so I'll fold them twice and sew it. For the collar and sleeve ruffles, sew a basting stitch at 1/2 inch where the non-hem side is. Start creating the ruffles. Insert it into the opening of the collar until it reaches the end. Sew at the edge of the collar. Repeat the same exact process for the sleeve ruffles. And here's the first sleeve ruffle done. For the sleeve ties, fold the small edge down first and fold it twice to create a thin rectangle. For the second sleeve ruffle, sew 2 basting stitches, one at 1/4 of an inch and the second at 1 inch. And this one will be ruffled just a bit, enough to fit around the sleeve. Mark 1.5 inches below the cuff of the sleeve and pin the end of the ruffle at that marking. Sew on the ruffle where the first basting stitch is. Fold it up and sew at the second basting stitch. This will create a little encasing to put in the sleeve ties. Use a safety pin to guide the ribbon into the encasing. Make a little bow to finish off the sleeves. And we're done. Here's the final transformation. Thank you so much for watching. I love transforming men's dress shirts, and I especially liked how this one turned out. And if you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, please go check it out. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!